Welcome, welcome, one and all.
Hey.
So special FlutterCon edition Humpday Q&A.
Yay.
How you doing, Randall?
I'm doing fine. I got to sleep in my own bed this morning, unlike any of you.
That's true. I don't think hardly any of us got enough sleep last night or today. We're all a bit exhausted. It's the end of the day.
But Randall, there's free beer downstairs, man. You're missing out on the free beer.
Sure. I'll have to make up for it on my own. I'm on a self-service program.
So we're going to do a brief introduction, and we'll get to the usual bits and pieces. So Randall, my name's Sam Light, but you'll know who I am. We're going to go down the chain here. Let me see if I can bring it all up together. There we go. So we've got, you can't see him, just come this way. There you go. Introduce yourself.
I can. Hey guys, I'm Lucas, co-founder and CEO of Widgetbook. You probably know our open source package already.
There you go. I'm Simon, obviously, and we got...
Hi, I'm Matthew. You can find me online as Makerinator. I make profoundly stupid stuff out of Flutter and make YouTube videos about it. So, hey, look me up.
And Jin?
Yeah, my name is Jin, and I am Flutter 3DE, and I've been also doing the FCAAT, another live stream of this series, and yeah, that's me.
We've got a mystery guest in the background who we remain anonymous. But we also have we have our reporter in the field, Simon. Simon.
Yes, Simon number one. This is Simon number two here.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to show you around later.
Yeah. And we'll come back to you in just a moment, okay? And let's do the do's and don'ts quickly. And Randall, I think I'll jump you onto that if that's okay.
You aren't going to let me introduce myself?
Oh yeah, please, Randall, introduce yourself. Sorry, yeah, introduce yourself, Randall. Go on.
He just zipped right by me. It's like I don't matter anymore.
Yeah, I'm full screen now.
Yeah, good. I'm Randall Schwartz. I've been a Dart and Flutter Google developer expert since the very beginning of the program about 7 years ago. I've been enjoying all those years helping people out, answering questions on Stack Overflow and Reddit and other places like that, the other socials. Just having a great time doing that, sharing my knowledge, appearing virtually all over the world, giving lectures and talks and stuff, and appearing in person last month or 2 months ago in New York for my first Flutter conference that wasn't Google sponsored. So that was really awesome. So in this show, I am watching the chat. Only the YouTube chat. I'm watching the YouTube chat. I'm looking for you to have Q: in front of a question. I'll make sure that gets flagged so that Simon can bring it into the show. So just be sure to do that. I will be watching for those. Yeah. Now the do's and don'ts.
And I guess you can jump onto the do's and don'ts. Why not?
Sure. Right. Just continuing there. So be nice, be respectful, be constructive. You're talking to actual human beings through the chat. Those aren't bots. Well, most of them aren't bots. We're not sure about a few of them. But also don't post anything if it's adult content or rude or offensive. We do have ban hammers and we do use them. Don't advertise or promote anything. The only people that can promote things are people that with their faces on the screen. So if you don't see your face on the screen, you don't get to promote anything. Don't spam. Don't post the same thing again and again. It's annoying. Not only that, if you post a question, then you post the same question 20 minutes later, you lost your place by 20 minutes in line because I will delete the first one and go down to the second one. So don't do that. Harassment of any kind, not tolerated. As I said, we do have ban hammers. We do use them very occasionally, which is really nice. You guys are mostly just a great group and do have a good time. We enjoy sharing what we know. We enjoy being on this show. Yeah, so we want everybody to have a good time as well. There you go.
Brilliant, thank you. I think we're going to wait for some questions to come in, but in the meantime, I think Simon can show us around the venue. Is that okay, Simon?
I have to pretend like I'm hearing everything 20 minutes later, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Simon, that's definitely the case. So I can actually show you around a little bit. I'll just switch my camera so you guys don't have to see me, but can see everything. So this is one of the main stages.
Finished for the day, so everything's empty at the moment. Everyone's gone home.
Yes, exactly. Like also here, there was a lot of buzz going on, but everyone's preparing for the after party. Here we actually have the Flutter booth that a lot of people spent their days on. Here we have very good ventures. We have so many things. CodeMate, we have got Code Magic, we got Lean Code with amazing coffee. Like this is where everybody always stays. We got ServerPod, Widgetbook, Elia, yeah, Shorebird, Local Nova, Cactus. There's so many great things. As you can see, like some people are still here playing around with stuff, but yeah, it's a little bit more empty here. We will get different. Actually, Revenue Cat also really has a cool booth. As you can see, everything lit up white and red. Yeah, you can win headphones and stuff.
Right, hands to the right. Let's see. It's just in the middle.
Yes.
The Revenue Cat. Yeah, look at
Yes.
that. That is amazing.
Like they even wear cool jumpsuits and stuff like that. So yeah. All right. I'll just quickly show around this cars. There's so many stuff here. Like I said, it was completely buzzing all day. Now it's quite empty, and you can actually see there's still a lot of people here, and some are already going to the Code Magic after party. So yeah, it's pretty cool here.
Thanks very much. Head up here and
You're
we'll
welcome.
see you here, yeah?
Yes, perfect.
Awesome.
I have to say, I was walking around the show floor earlier, and like I could not move. Like
Yeah.
there were just so many people. Like, and I don't mean that as a bad way. This entire convention has just been jumping. Like the quality of the talks has been amazing, but honestly, more than the quality of the talks, it's just hanging out and meeting people who love Flutter. You know, it's
A lot
incredible.
of interesting conversations happening, I think. There's a lot of when we did the opening address, Majid asked how many people is their first conference.
Mhm.
I think about 50% of the audience put their hands up. It was
Yeah.
it was a lot. It was a
Mhm.
lot, and that room was overflowing. Like there was just people standing all around the room, and we definitely had the main room packed and all these side rooms packed as well. So I think we've done pretty well.
Mhm. Yeah, it was my first time in Berlin for this conference.
Are you, we
Made.
Did you go to the FlutterCon USA? You
Yeah,
did,
yeah, I went there.
So in comparison, you can tell how this one's a lot larger than the other one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you both been. to
Yeah.
USA.
So I was at USA at NYC. What was it, 3 months ago? And it was a great conference. Don't get me wrong, it was
It's
awesome.
hot.
But it was toasty. Yeah.
Second day was all right though.
The second day was solid, yeah,
Yeah.
but it was toasty. But man, this one is like 10 times bigger. You know, I would say honestly, if you can make it to both, you should go to both. Because you know NYC was great, but this one has free German beer. And that was worth the trip.
And pretzels.
Yeah. And pretzels. I forgot about the pretzels. Yeah.
There's I have to say there is some. I was saying this before. There is some good companies that do transatlantic flights for really good cheap now. You know, like you can get a transatlantic flight for like $300. You know, there I think it was like $200 like one way. So $400 return is like just ridiculously cheap in comparison to what it's been. So yeah, no reasons not to come. We'll talk to you, Randall. Let's see you next time.
Yeah, possible. not ruling it out.
Honestly, Randall, like that, Simon will vouch for this. I asked him, like, "Where's Randall?" Like, he gave such an exceptional talk at FlutterCon USA. Those of you who that joke, that it was exceptional though. Like, legitimately, it was awesome. And I'm disappointed I don't get to hang with Randall again, but.
And if you're looking for a discount code next year, just hit us up. We're sponsoring, so we always get discount codes.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll figure
There's
something
also all the videos from this event and the USA one. In fact, the USA ones are already up now on YouTube. So if you look for FlutterCon 2020, FlutterCon USA 2025 on YouTube, you'll get the playlists up for this event. It's under the DroidCon FlutterCon channel. So that'll be for the event a few months ago, and then this one, the keynotes are already up from this morning, already up on the YouTube channel, and tomorrow they'll be continuous. So tomorrow and the next day going up on YouTube. So it's interactive, should we say?
Yes.
More interactive than usual.
Well, honestly, I'm just excited that they're getting the talks up so fast. Like that is a huge, massive win. Hey.
There's a chair here. I'm sure you can find a spot. Yeah. Come on.
No, it's a huge, massive win because like we waited, I don't know how long after USA for the talks to be up online. And the fact that they're posting the talks same day, and I can like text
I'd say not all the talks, but they are.
the fact that they're putting up so quickly, you know, and I can like text all my friends and be like, hey, look at this talk I gave in Europe. I'm important. Look at me.
I had to ask. This is not your first one, right? You did last year as well, right?
Yeah, so we also did 2 years ago already.
2 years ago as well.
Yeah.
I think on
So
the quick.
it's the third edition now of
It is.
FlutterCon.
You're right.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, because Europe was 3, and we've done 2 USAs now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I participated also in both US.
For you, how is this one different from last year? Do you think it's busier?
It's a bit busier. So I talked to the guys organizing, and they mentioned last year we had around 700 only Flutter developers, and this time it's nearly 900 only Flutter developers. So I mean it's a significant increase, and with like taking that into account where we basically compare that to the one in New York. In New York, you nearly had like 250.
I think the whole event was about 1,000 people, and there was about 700, 800 Android, and then 200, 300.
Yeah, exactly. You had not even 300 Flutter developers.
Yeah.
So this one is a lot bigger.
I can bring Latin America as well.
Oh, do you want to introduce yourself, Vadim?
Hello, everyone. My name is Vadim. I'm quite new in this Flutter family, I would say.
Ginny?
I am GD from April. It was not a joke, actually. From the 1st of April, they announced it on the 1st of April.
so unlucky.
Oh, yeah. Now I need to be like a bit more thoughtful of what I'm speaking. But who visited just a week ago, I've attended and I've been speaking at FlutterCon Latin America. And I want to say that Latin America is pretty the same as USA, so around 200 people. And I was like, waiting for Europe because it's always a great thing. It's always great, massive, and quite entertaining.
Do we have any questions in the queue?
We got a few.
Come up to the third floor.
Third floor at the very end. You can find us.
I just texted him as well.
Cool.
We have a couple of simple questions if you want to take one of them.
Hey, Simon, are you going to stay down there? Do you want to come up again? Oh, hang on. Again?
I can come up as well. I'll be there.
Yeah, why not?
See you in a second.
Make sure to bring some more carrots for Kevin. Nearly all of carrots.
Perfect. See you in a second.
One second, guys.
I think we got another guest. Oh, no. All right. Yeah, while we're waiting, we can probably start with a question.
Okay.
I'll answer it badly. These guys can answer it better.
Sure. This is Dustley asking, I have an MVP pretty much ready, but only 15% test coverage. What approach should I choose to use the very limited time to make my meaningful testing?
I'm going to make a joke and say write more tests, but
yeah,
is that inappropriate? Is that not something I should say? Honestly, I hate the fact that I'm going to say this, but I have been able to expand my test coverage quite a bit just by using AI tools. AI is great for writing unit tests. Like if you need to write a bunch of, now it's not always great at writing good unit tests. Like be an active code reviewer, look at what it's doing, make sure that it's writing actually good unit tests that are testing something meaningful. But if you don't have a ton of test coverage and you want to increase that, there are worse ways of spending your time than throwing an LLM at it. That's my thought. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think about the confidence at the end. No matter the percentage, if you're confident, I mean, if you can have the confidence on your test outcome, whatever the percentage, for me, it's good. I mean, that you have already. I mean, having 90%, 100% doesn't give you the better test coverage, actual coverage.
That is a really good point. That is a fantastic point. Like a couple really good unit tests that are testing critical portions of your app that you want to make sure are really, really working well is better than 1,000 unit tests that make sure that, the word hello pops up or
that definitely just came.
Yeah, I think, I don't remember who said that phrase, but like having more than 80% is already redundancy. So it's covering the critical pieces of the logic, and that's more than enough. And again, AI is really doing very well in that sense. But again, like what this number means, 80% of what? 80% of classes, 80% of business logic, 80% of edge cases. Like
What was this?
This is pretty vague measurement as for me, metric. So just cover a few critical points, agreeing here, and good to go.
I also think that if you don't write tests, you end up writing monolithic code that isn't testable.
Yeah.
And that code is also not very reusable, it turns out. There's a high correlation with having it modular enough that we can slide in the middle of one of the interfaces and put our own mock data on the other side. If you could do that, your code is flexible and you can reuse those technologies in other places. But if you're not thinking about testing, you're probably going to write chunky code. New term, chunky code.
Can we make chunky code a thing? Like, can we put in PR request this code is blowing chunks?
As long as we can also get creamy code to go for the people that
Oh,
don't.
no.
I have so many jokes,
Too
but
far,
I'm stopping.
too far.
I'm stopping.
Um,
Nope.
I mean, I think that the other thing is, test your critical flows, right? First.
Yeah.
Or if you have got like, those bits of business logic that are refined and specific, get those tested first as well.
Oh, we got another visitor.
Grab a chair and bring it around. There.
You know what? I am bigger than everybody else, so
No. There's room here.
okay.
We just squeezing just in between.
If you go around.
I just want to say that this is the day the Flutter community all got a little closer.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. Free, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Long time viewer.
Yeah. No, my name is Frey. I'm a freelance Flutter developer. Been using Flutter since the early days, definitely. And right now I'm doing consultancy, but also focusing on kickstarting teams that want to start using Flutter. So getting them launched in their project as soon as possible.
I'm gonna see if I can do a different layout here. This is gonna. This might be bad.
I was too shy to give like.
Yeah, I don't need to be on the screen, really. I'm not saying that much.
I think I can make this work, Randall. Give me 1 second.
Oh, picture in picture. I could be in the corner.
That's what I'm going to try and attempt to do.
And then I can sing. Then I can sing that song.
Hang on. Try this again.
It'll be a needle drop. We'll get copyright.
This is going to do this live because why not?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, Simon's messing about. What's been everyone's favorite part of day one of FlutterCon?
Meeting everyone.
Okay.
Seeing everyone.
I'm not going to make a third beer reference too much. No. I've enjoyed the talk. We got a great widget book talk earlier, which I really enjoyed, so that was fun. The keynote was excellent and actually gave me a lot of optimism for the future of my career. So that was really nice.
What gave you confidence in the future of the career?
I think because AI is so we're all having an existential crisis. Let's just be honest. Like, we can try to pretend that we're not, but we're all having an existential crisis about AI. And I think that what we saw today, maybe for like the first time, was like some practical steps of like what you can do to be more AI resistant in your career. And that was something that I enjoyed about the keynote. So, yeah.
Now I got to sing. That's me in the corner.
I don't know who could have given a keynote here at all.
Yep.
So have we got any other questions in the queue?
There's one more. Let's do that one.
What are we going to do? So to everyone online, we're only doing 1 hour today because like the venues are going to shut and kick us out. So we need to
actually wanted to kick us out.
Get your questions in quickly.
Yeah. They were like, "This is already ended. You can't be here." Yeah.
So Dustley's asking, as the actual features. Sorry,
go on, carry on.
Okay, Dustley is asking, I think the same person. As the actual features are done, what things should be added before go live? I'm thinking about analytics, Crashlytics. You're waiting until now to think about those things? Basically, what app infrastructure should be added? All of it.
So definitely crash analytics, or at least some error detection. You want to make sure that when you're doing that upgrade after you've done this first release, that you haven't gone backwards and you haven't made more problems. Analytics is nice, but you really need to think about what you're trying to detect and what you're trying to measure. So like how many people are logging in, how many people are, proceeding from login to pay or whatever else, so you can see what conversions you have, that kind of stuff. So that can take a bit more work, but it's at least get the base analytics in, right?
Well, so here's my thing. I don't know enough about the question to be able to say this, but for me, I was bootstrapping an app in a much larger organization, and having analytics in allowed us to demonstrate just how much our app was actually being used. And so that told the business story then of why they needed to continue investing, A, in the department, but B, in the app as a whole. So if you're a bootstrapper, maybe it's not as important. If you are inside of a larger organization and you need to justify your existence,
I would say there's also though that base analytics. So I'm assuming this person's talking about Firebase because they're crash analytics. If you're using Firebase analytics and just putting the package in, you get to know how many users you got on what version of the app, how many people opened it, when they opened it, how long the sessions are, all this kind of base analytics. You didn't have to literally do any code for, you just pop the package on and it just does it, right?
You want to hear the stupidest thing you're going to hear all day? We have that. We have Firebase crash analytics. They still, because we are an Azure house, wanted us to put Microsoft Application Insights in addition to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, pretty much every large corporation, you've got 5 different analytics platforms. Yeah. It's ridiculous. What they really need is the backend engineer to actually take the analytics from one feed and then not bloat the apps. But that's the way it is.
A good tip that I heard yesterday from Anton was if you have like a standard button in your code base, always require something to be logged with analytics whenever you use that. So that automatically, whenever that button is used, you'll have the analytics on it.
That's brilliant.
It's so funny. That's what we did.
That's literally. Yeah, many people are doing that actually because it's annoying to put event everywhere. So you want to make a central component that does it.
Make it part of the ticket.
I think just on the point of the original point here, the question about things to add push. Like you need to get your users sign up for push, and then that way, if you've got any issues, like the server's gone down, so you can send a push notification. Sorry, we're down for maintenance or something. Like you've got the access to the user. So yeah, add push notifications to your product.
And speaking of push, so in case you are wondering, maybe I would have a bug in production at some point. Can also add code push from Shorebird.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Shorebird.
Tomorrow, Eric's going to be giving a keynote. Eric Sodell, who's all about Shorebird, I'm sure. He'll get in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Think so.
So tune in for that. I'm sure it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow sometime. If not live, it might be live. I'm not sure.
And of course, my sarcastic answer is add location services for absolutely no reason, and don't tell Apple or Google why you're using it. They love that. They love it.
Don't do that. That's a way. That's a definite sure way to get your app rejected from the stores immediately.
Ask me how I know.
Oh dear.
or just put a reason, a vague reason, like because we want to track you.
Yeah, right. We want to track the location of all of our users.
We want to sell your personal data. Like
yeah.
That was the only question so far. So talk amongst yourselves.
We had some people come to the booth earlier, the community booth, and they were asking questions around some of the work that we've done on the Humpday show. So there was the stack canvas that went down pretty well, and then I call it Navigating V3, but it was just an simple implementation of a navigation pattern to explain how it kind of works. But yeah, that was kind of good to see that we have people here that are watching and engaging and getting something from it.
Aren't you doing a talk about the infinite canvas tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm gonna. So the work that we did on the show, I'm gonna continue that, do some live coding, and put some maybe bounding limits, scaling, some other fun things. Just kind of explain how it worked. I was actually thinking about maybe switching over to being so at the moment it's stack canvas with stack items in, switching to be more of a builder pattern. So you get the viewport and then you return stack items that fits other people. We'll see how it goes.
So here's a question. If you put a column inside of a stack and it's not inside of a scrollable widget and it goes over the end, is that a render Stack Overflow?
I don't know. I don't know.
That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
Was that a joke?
It was intended to be a joke.
Oh.
Yeah, never mind.
Sorry. No, sure. The joke definitely is,
I'm just gonna jump out that window over there. I'm done.
that's literally the questions I'm getting all day. Like, I don't get how to do this. This guy here should talk about his app and company that he's been building.
Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of you are already familiar with the open source package that we're building, Widgetbook. Exactly. Like, if you forget about it, just read it easily. And with the open source Widgetbook, you can easily build all of your widgets in isolation, and that then allows you to very easily make sure that all of your widgets work well in all sorts of configurations that you might have. So different states, different text scale factors, device sizes, themes, languages, and so on. And while you're building your widget in isolation with Widgetbook, you'll also receive a catalog of your component library. So in the end, you get a nice overview about every single widget that you have inside your Flutter app. And you can then post that catalog to share with other stakeholders of your team. So not only developers, also designers, product managers, QA testers. And if you then want to make sure that it's not only set up once, but actually it's maintainable long-term, UI review is also really important. And there we have an integration with every CI/CD tool and Git provider that you could have. And we are in the end automatically detecting all visual changes of your pull requests. So imagine not only seeing what code lines changed, but actually also what visual changes you had. And you then get a nice overview about how the widget looked before versus how it looks now. You can easily highlight the change and can then approve all visual changes straight from Widgetbook Cloud.
That's nice.
And therefore, as a developer, you can make sure that in the end, whenever that check is successful, you know for sure you have no unintended changes in your pull request. Like automated golden testing.
Nice.
Honestly, I wish that we had like that visual change diff inside of our app right now. Simply because we do, as good developers, we use our components a lot. We use our widgets everywhere, right? Yeah. And we have in the past had issues where it's like, we will refactor it to support this one use case in like one corner of the app. And then it's like, the button is now purple everywhere.
I think we've all experienced something like that.
Yeah, we would automatically detect that for you.
Yeah, QA was not happy. But yeah.
No, it's a best friend advertisement.
We have
What we
another
got?
question.
Go for it.
Free Entertaining asks, what's the point of not being able to change error intent and padding of text fields without changing the input padding on the theme level? I believe this person has been asking in the Flutter forum.
That's
recently.
an interesting one. So there's some legacy to all of these widgets, right?
Yeah.
And part and parcel, 1 second while I confer my my good colleagues. Huh?
What's the new widget separation?
Who's he talking to?
Featherlight, that's it. Featherlight, that's the word I was thinking. Featherlight. So there's a project at the moment with the Flutter and Dart teams to kind of separate off the layers of the widget system that there at the moment. So this way, rather than having just material button that you then have to customize and fight the material theme with, you can just have like a base kind of button that you can then implement your own theme on top of. This is that kind of that idea. So text field could be separated off. You have your base text field, which is what it should be without input decorator, which it currently has. And input decorator is very much driven by the material spec. So the idea is to separate those kind of things off, and you won't have this problem.
It's a good initiative.
Yeah, yeah.
I am so excited for Featherlight. Like, honestly, I have spent so much time dematerializing material.
Dematerializing, I like that.
It is. I've spent so much time dematerializing material widgets when I've been handed a design spec that is, at previous jobs that were like, oh, okay, we don't want it to behave that way. All right. So my other option is Cupertino, which is even less what you want. So
I mean, what I always end up every app I'm building, what I always end up doing is doing app text field, which wraps a normal text field and then just applies all the changes I want. That every text field in the app then becomes the app styled or themed text field, right? I mean, in this case, you said about overriding the theme, and obviously you can do that. You don't have to do that at the theme level inside of your material app. You can just wrap the text field with a theme widget and override just that part of the theme. So that also might somewhat, because then you can wrap it inside your app text field and maybe simplify your approach. I don't know. But yeah, it is annoying. There are these little things. These are, I kind of feel like almost a bit of legacy now that is in the Flutter API, where there's it's matured over time and there's like different conflicting behaviors in certain things. You also might want to look at just turning on the use material 3, because the behaviors of the widgets change when that's enabled. So is it material 3? Is that material 2?
That's on by default now, right?
Depends on what version is using of Flutter, right?
I think Expressive is not yet there.
Yeah.
M3.
Okay. And no, I just saw one come in.
I know. Yeah. Hold on. I'll get to it. I can only do too many things. Oh, there we go. Well, it went up anyway. Okay. Free entertaining, same person, I guess. Or using the same handle. Can we fetch some data from an API periodically when the app is in the background? Ooh, that's gonna suck. And show it on a home screen widget. Is the Flutter side not native side? I already did that.
I know what it's all right. So let me just brief this to everyone. So a home screen widget in this case, he means a widget on your actual app, your launcher in your app. So like on your actual home screen of your phone, not the home screen of the app, right? The launcher, right? So they're also called home widgets on iOS, but they're called app widgets. Really is the real name on Android, which just everything's a widget, so it just gets really confusing. But yeah, so the problem you've got is that you can, first of all, you can. I did a talk, it's not online. Now I did this actually without any packages that are now there, but you can just capture the bitmap of a Flutter widget without even having any visuals of it on the screen, and then send it over to this on Android, send it over to a home screen widget, and it'll look like that. There is actually a package on Pub called Home Widgets.
Yeah, from Anton.
Yeah, from Anton. Yeah, it is Anton. Yeah, who's actually downstairs. And that package itself deals with all of this for you. I don't know if it runs in the background. I haven't used it a lot recently, but there's no reason why not. So you can actually set up a Dart execution environment in the background in an Android service, for example. On iOS, that's a whole different thing. But again, if you're trying to do something in the background, you're dealing with the specifics of the platform and not a specific of Flutter. Home_widget. Yeah, thanks, John. We missed a question, Randall. There was one book just before that one.
I'm coming back to him. Yeah, well, yeah, right. We missed it. Was the stupid scrolling that happens in StreamYard when you're trying to click on something and it scrolls right as you're trying to click on it. You end up on the next thing. All right. So here's the other question from Verde. Is there a way to retrieve the baseline or line height for an existing text widget? Is line metrics at the render object level the only option?
Sorry, I'm just playing around buttons here. Why is it not working? It's not working. Carry on. What's the question?
I just read it.
My bad.
We just erased Simon's memory. That was like the Etch-a-Sketch doing that for a second. All right.
No, I'm putting around the same so we can make things bigger. Sorry, go on.
Now we know how to distract Simon. We put something problem with StreamYard in front of him.
Or line from existing text widget.
Okay.
Oh, this is a complicated one. That's actually a problem case, right? So if you wanted, so there's always a widget that every single app I end up wanting to need, and that's min lines. I want to reserve a certain amount of minimum line height in a widget so that if it does overflow, it gets to that point, and that way you don't have the widgets expanding. The way you actually work that is doing what text does. If you go look at the text widget, you'll find it gets the default text style. It gets a bunch of other stuff from the context, like the lines and linear scale, the text scaler from the media query, and a bunch of other stuff. to calculate that line height, and then you've got it. But yeah, there's no way of taking it from an existing text widget. It just doesn't work.
I actually had this problem and never solved it. So this is not helpful at all, but you're going to hear about it anyway. So essentially what happened, I was trying to generate a PDF using Flutter. So it was a little button that you would say, make this Flutter screen into a PDF. But I needed to know when the page was going to break so that I could make things look appropriate. And what I realized is like, it is really hard to like retroactively after things have been rendered, like figure out, oh, this is something that I need to break apart and then re-render after that. I ended up abandoning the project, to be honest, because it's a really difficult problem.
Text wrapping and text rendering is a really difficult problem that most people just take for granted. And it's not until you start needing something from it that you're like, oh, this is hard.
It would be really nice if render paragraph had callbacks, hooks at various levels. Like here, I'm about to end this line. What do you want me to do? That kind of callbacks while it's doing the rendering, because that's otherwise you end up having to invent all that yourself to do exactly the same thing, which is really weird.
It's almost what we need is a headless operation, though, something that's just do the calculations. You get then you get some output that you can then pass to the rendering layer for it to use. So you could then do all your calculation stuff and you don't have to render it, right? Like, there needs to be separation there. At the moment, it's always render it and then get the resulting metrics from that render. And you have to do it at the render object level, which now means you have to do like several different wraps to try and get back the data to the build level so you can change widgets or do something magical. It's quite nice.
It's funny because the resolution of that, the reason I was able to abandon it is because when I actually got requirements from the people that they were like, oh, we don't need to generate a PDF. We need to take an existing PDF, break it apart, and then import the text. Which
is more difficult than you think.
I solved it with an Adobe API. They have an AI thing that you can send a PDF to JSON.
Fine, yeah. Well, if you can just throw it on an API, sure.
Yeah.
And I think there's an interesting thing with PDFs, and that is it records text and the position of the text on the screen, which is fine when you think about like, oh, it's a paragraph, but it actually, a lot of tools that make PDFs output them per letter.
Yeah.
And because they're per letter, what you see visually on the screen, which is a word, just is a bunch of text letters next to each other. So from a programmatic perspective, when you read the file, you essentially have to re-render it to understand, are they next to each other? To understand, is that a word? Which is just like, oh, ridiculous.
You ever try to copy paste text out of a PDF? That's exactly the problem. Because like it'll come out jumbled half the time.
Yeah, and that's because it's the way it's been, the PDF's been generated.
Yeah.
I mean,
take a screenshot and give it to the AI. That's it.
I love that AI is our solution to everything. Just take a screenshot.
It's like the regex of parsing. I think that's it.
Done with that one. I got one more just came in. Train of Thought asks for complex widgets like a calendar with multiple drop downs. After lifting state up, it keeps getting bigger and harder to manage using Change Notifier. How would you recommend handling this correctly?
There's a point here, which is where are you talking about like some sort of app state? I mean, your UI state you can compartmentalize almost into like smaller, concise widgets. Frankly, if you've got a lot of state, it's going to be harder to manage, and I'm not sure I can give you any specific advice.
So the way that I've handled this is I would give each, I use RiverPod primarily, right? So I give each individual dropdown its own controller, which manages its state. And then I consume those controllers at a much higher level, sometimes with like a service to keep track of that. But
I mean, I'm sorry, when he's using Change Notifier, I'm assuming he's using multiple Change Notifiers for the different sections, which is the same. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the other thing is you can do is to use more of like a select approach, right? Like provide a select and just have your stuff change. You can have one Change Notifier, essentially one object that has all your state in, and then just have the widget select which part of that model object they want to rebuild on, which maybe makes the management of the state management simpler. Yeah. Anyone else got anything suggestions? No, that's a
I mean,
lot.
like if change notify is actually interfering with another one, or another, like let's say simple widget depends on two different change notifiers, then or there is an issue with the state management, or actually having selector is the best way to sort it out.
We in quite a few projects I've worked on, we do a thing where we have small bit of code which just lets you wrap a change notifier into a stream, and then you can then do a map or a conditional where on a stream, and then get your output from that. So you can actually kind of like link the two things together without having a sort of magical state. So
yeah, maybe one thing that always works quite well with the more complex widgets. If you are starting with like this atomic design methodology, so you're basically starting first to build your atoms, and if you're then coming to more complex widgets like a molecule or even an organism, you basically, so when we're talking about a molecule here, in the end, the molecule just consists of multiple atoms. And if you, first of all, build your atoms correctly without much, or best case, without any logic, then it's a lot easier to build the molecule from those existing atoms.
yeah, so it's like with the calendar approach, you're building like a widget for the day, you're building a widget for the week, the widget for the month, widget for the year.
And also, just to bring it up, because I've been playing with signals a lot recently. Signals are very close to change notifiers. They're value notifiers, essentially, under the hood. And so but they're also composable a lot easier than straight value notifiers, because they do a lot of the hard work for composing under the hood. So you might look at that. We did a couple of shows on the mainstream last few weeks about signals, and I've been applying it to more and more of my projects, and I'm really happy with it so far. So I'm still waiting to hit that wall where it's like, it doesn't do this right, but I haven't seen that wall yet. So
it's a hard sell to introduce another state management to a project that already has one, right? Just for one widget. So
don't do it.
but if you to do it as your calendar thing as a package that's separate, it could have the signals state management piece to it, and then you're just using that package in your app. But maybe it's slightly different in terms of management.
We got another question. Let's go ahead if you want, right?
I think in the case of the question I asked, like it's important to keep state as scoped as possible to do everything, and then only then, if you notice, like we have things at a certain level, decide like do they actually belong within the same change notifier or not?
Yeah.
I want to write a alternative to signals, and I'm going to name the package noise. And then I'm hoping that it'll generate a whole bunch of Medium articles about signals versus noise.
Generate a whole bunch of noise.
Yeah.
You got to spell it NOYZ though.
Yeah.
Please apply the noise package. Would be great. Okay, this is the most recent question, and the last one we have for now. Charles Steinmetz says, do you have tips on how to define colors, themes for apps, and find layout inspirations? The logo of the app is green and orange.
Define colors and themes. I mean, there's theme extensions, right? I mean, you can just do a theme extension with your own set of parameters for colors, and then just attach that to the normal theme that you're using. The actual theme system right now has a color scheme from Seed. That's what I'm thinking. No, swatches are gone. So from Seed, it's a color scheme from Seed, and you could obviously use that as a starting point to color your theme.
We've used theme extensions to great effect. That's actually something that we've been working with.
What was it on last week's show? Someone said, why is my app rebuilding loads of times when I change my theme? I'm like, because it's lerping between one theme to the other. That's how it's designed to work. And they were having a problem because it was choking, because it was rebuilding so much when it was. But I think it's because they had some cyclic kind of dependency on it, right? Or some other weird chunky thing, right? Because it's only if you have side effects from build that's going to cause that, right? Which you shouldn't have. Like builders just make my widgets.
I missed a few questions. We're running
Find
short.
layout. It says, and find layout inspirations.
And there's some platform I can recommend, at least in the past. I mean, now it's AI, right? So you could probably just generate some stuff. But in the past, there was a great no, not this time. No, in the past, there used to be a great platform called Dribble, which is like very great for design inspirations.
Yeah, with 3 Bs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Dribble with 3 Bs.
Dribble with 3 Bs. That's great. And I mean, just now there are a lot of great Figma templates as well for any layout inspirations.
There used to be a materialup.com, I think it was called. There's another one, but
I just use Dribble a lot.
Nice technique to find like initial colors if you don't have anything new. It's just to like find an image of something related to that, and then take the colors of that image. Like if it's something about robots, just Google robots. Go into Google Images and then pick one and take the main colors out of that. Most of the time.
Tell you something that you can do as well, which a lot of people don't realize. If you put an image through a Gaussian filter, like with your favorite image editor, you end up with the color, the base colors that make up that image, basically.
That's genius.
And you sample those.
I've never thought of that. That's brilliant.
It works really well. You get like a color palette from just like an image. We've only got 10 minutes left on the timer, so whatever question.
We got 3 more questions, so we're going to go fast.
Let's get them in then.
Manoj says, when we use AI, say Gemini CLI, for code generation for a specific use case, are we sharing the complete code base in the IDE with the underlying LLM? If we don't want that, how best to leverage the LLM?
I couldn't tell you about Gemini CLI specifically. By the way, none of us talking work for Google. When we use AI, say Gemini CLI for code generation for a specific use case, are we sharing the complete code base in the IDE with the underlying LLM? If we don't want that, how best to leverage the LLM? Gemini CLI, does it index like the code?
I made it 51 minutes without saying anything. Okay. That's a great question. I would always say for any, so one, I don't work on the AI tools directly, so we should find people who do. But I'd say for any of these tools, it's always good to, check the boxes, like what you signed up for things. I know at least for the Gemini online tool, Gemini.google.com, it says we never use your data for training. But is the question here, is their data going up the Google server or not? Is the question?
That's what it sounds like.
I think if you are using an online hosted large language model, Google or anybody else's, if it's not running on your machine, it's running the cloud. So I'd highly recommend, I think the most important thing, whether your business or just an individual, is double checking, like, what do they retain and for what purposes? I know, at least in one context, I don't know what every Gemini tool, but I know at least for the website, it says explicitly, we do not use the things you submit for our own training. And so that's good to do, but, RTFM are read-friendly, legalese.
I know there's plenty of AI services out there, and when they specifically say, "Oh, you pay us for it," we won't leverage it. But if you use our free model, yes, we're going to leverage your data that you put in to train our model.
On device.
But on device, you haven't got a problem, right? Because on device, it's on your machine. It's not going anywhere, right? So, but yeah, they're more limiting than the online ones. You need to have a pretty good, beefy graphics card, lots of memory to run like a really decent model and get the output you want. Don't get me wrong, there's some amazing things you get out of them, but yeah, when it comes to like code editing, that's you need quite a large model.
I have a 3080. I thought I would be fine. I was not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's more about it's normally, I don't know about the 38 specifically, but I've seen 40, 50s, 46s all working pretty well. But they've got like 12 gig minimum, right? And then you also can leverage shared memory with the system and kind of get 24 gig out of your graphics just to use in a model. But, few more questions. Yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, we have 3 more questions, so we got to get them fast here. Richard Rousseau says, during Chris Sell's demonstration of his agentic app, he received wrong answers, even though it was prompted to use specific functions. Is there still no way to rely on AI for your app?
Right. I mean, I think I could just say to my own experience on that, it depends on the model you're using. I mean, I've had really good experience with agentic what's it called? Augmentcode.com. On its suggestions have been feel to me be higher quality than others, but they have a special context engine and indexing of your code that really kind of make it. And they've got like obviously system prompt and stuff that use that's their custom magic, right? That lets it behave in a certain way that actually is more reliable. There's no reason why you can't. It's a predictive model, right? So it's about what you put in, right? You put a good prompt in, you're going to get good stuff out. I mean,
not only prompt, there's also parameters you can play with it. If you are making the app with a certain model, that actually you can play with the parameters to fine tune the result that you can. So I mean, you can cut all the creativity of your AI output, then it's gonna be it will give you the exact result of the time.
There's another. I mean, again, it depends on that. We just said like running on device, you're going to get again lower quality because there's not so many parameters. It's the number of parameters that model's been trained on that gives it the more connections, the more intelligence per se kind of thing.
And also sometimes it's just going to be wrong.
Yeah, I think there's another thing there is there's another thing, like give it context, right? So for example, we saw this with Norbert's stuff. You generate a PRD. He did this on the Flutter. What's the Flutter show with Craig?
Flutter Observable.
Observable Flutter. Yeah, so Norbert went on Observable Flutter and they did some vibe coding. And so did
I did too.
Sorry, it was Randall. Oh my God, sorry, Randall. It's you, Randall. Randall went on the show with us.
Excuse me with Norbert.
It's been a long day. But you generate a PRD, generating that spec up front, and then that becomes an input for the model. Again, it already has constraints now, and asking it to say, another example of this is saying to the model, if you have any questions, ask me first, right? Mm-hmm. And just something like that means that what happens is it doesn't just guess randomly, oh, I think he wants this. No, it'll say, here's the options, pick one, right? And because you're having that conversation, you can actually get out of it more.
He actually has a follow-up question to that, which is that I'm asking about AI running features in your app, not.
I mean, yeah, that's probably because it's a non-device model, I would say. Again, though, that's more about making a good system prompt, right? I mean, you should be able to say, output this thing when this other thing occurs, and you'll get that out. Giving it more restriction.
Prompt engineering or context engineering, whatever we call it. That's what you need to do to balance the level of making more creative, which is undetermined. So meaning that it will give you the bullshit sometimes or not. Or if you make it really strict on the model with fine-tuned values, then it will give you exact results all the time.
You also have to remember that these online models, they're only given like, I think that was 150K parameters or something like that. They're really small compared to like 4 billion parameter models that you get on like cloud platforms. So well, I say 4 billion, they're like 40 billion now or something stupid, right? So yeah, you're gonna have a different level of intelligence, we're saying.
Got a couple more statements here before we run
out of time. True. We've still got a few more minutes.
Nestle asks, when using stateful shell routes and a hero in all the branches, it works. But navigating out the shell route to somewhere in the same hero tag, there are multiple heroes with the same tag.
Yeah. So make sure you have custom heroes tags.
Custom heroes. It sounds like a superhero.
It's a good question. What you're probably experiencing is a very specific bug related to how GoRouter handles its widgets on the screen. And there's no way we're going to be like, able to tell you exactly what that is. I would just suggest that you could make your each of your tags, make sure that they're unique, because it may be unrelated, but make sure they're unique. You can also put a global key at the top of your route, which might help in terms of like if it does a lift and shift, like keeping it state so it doesn't recreate multiple widgets. Yeah, don't use GoRoute, use something else. There's another option.
But not auto read.
So what's an option?
All right.
I mean, yeah.
So Shriman Arjun asks, I built a Flutter FFI plugin called Printing FFI. Since the native functions it depends on aren't available in a pure Dart testing environment, how do I add proper tests for my plugin? How do you test
If only Deco is Deco? No, I can't say his name. Deco, isn't it? Deco? Yeah, Deco. Deco was here to answer that question. He's like downstairs having a beer, I think. I'm not sure what state the new F5 plugin system is. As far as I understand, it's still being worked on. So, and I don't think any of us have actually used it yet. So, but I'm sure someone's going to be making a note of this question and making sure that the community gets some information.
There you go.
And
we're just saying that some people are building Flutter FFI plugins. The new this one's printing _FFI is the name of the package. But how do you test these things? Because native functions aren't available using pure Dart testing environment. In short, I'd be, in that situation, doing just mocking it and not actually testing the FFI stuff. But if you're testing your C code, test your C code in the C environment. I don't think there's any particular way. To test both together, you need to run it on a real device, right? Not run it in the
maybe I don't know about if you just run the Dart test with the plugin, it's gonna run actually, no?
Apparently not.
Really?
That's what I'm getting from this. Aren't available in pure testing environment.
That is actually
Native functions, it depends on. You should be able to load them in the test environment, I would think.
Yeah.
It might be something
I don't see any reason it's not gonna work.
If you're doing this on an Android iOS device, then you might be testing using integration, which is a different thing because it sends data over a channel. Doesn't work the same way. But you should be able to test it on the local dev device, I would assume. But that'd be limited to like macOS or Windows testing, like
you cannot do cross-device
Yeah.
testing in that case for sure. But in generally, I think if your FFI is generating the x84 binary, then I think I don't see any reason it's not going to work.
When you start getting down to these levels, it's just complicated. You're just dealing with like lots of different environments and platforms, and you're going to have to come up with a custom scenario that works for your system.
I guess my philosophy would be, and I don't know what's on the other side that he's using for FFI, but if it's a third-party library that you're not managing, I would say that's the edge of my testing. Like that is if it's someone else's code, they're responsible for testing it. I'm trusting that it works. I test up to that point, and so then I just mock at that point and go backwards. But
sometimes they need to do integration tests with the third-party library. Maybe not everything, but small parts. But I don't see any reason that it's not going to actually work.
You can always do the other side of this is you could test all your Dart code. If you've got like custom C code, test all your C code. Sure. And then you could write testing harness that launches and loads the C code and tests from externally from the C side if it's functioning, like loading the library like DLL or whatever, and validating it works. But again, it's all just like extra work on top. I think pick and choose your battles as well. Like make sure you're testing what's relevant to begin with, and then slowly making your way to 100%.
It's funny how this show has went full circle.
Oh, actually, that's a good point.
I think our first question was like, I've got 15% coverage. How do I improve it? And the answer was just test the important stuff, and we're ending on just test the important stuff.
That's it, right?
Makes me more
good to wrap it up soon. So
I think that's it. I think we're wrapped up. I think we're. There you go. Reminder: FCIAC streams will be returning in a couple of weeks. Yes, Steph. Thank you very much. That will definitely be happening. Yes.
Those are Monday mornings typically. If Norbert's going to start his Sunday thing, I don't know yet. But
well, this.
I think like if we just have like that screen.
No, it's fine here.
Oh, but then you're not in it.
Yeah,
right. He wasn't. He was never there. Never there. Oh, just ask Nana Banana to put him in there.
Nice.
I was expecting a flash.
We've seen some amazing Nana Banana images today.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Let's do
spectacular.
another one from here.
Yeah, do it as well.
Yay! Get a picture of me.
Now Randall is on it as well.
We got retro. Okay, then thanks everyone for joining us on the stream, and we'll be seeing you same time, same place on Wednesday next week.
Not letting me here, guys.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Randall. Good one.